What up, Hope Biscuits? It's your girl Skitten, back at it again with some weekly Twitter advice. If you didn't catch last week's weekly Twitter advice, make sure you go ahead and check that out. It featured my fiance, Chavez, and some crazy stuff happened in last week's weekly Twitter advice. Like, people have been getting a little nuts. So we are here for the second part of the weekly Twitter advice, and I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right in to question 5. He was married for 10 years and
this so I can microwave.
Do you, boo?
Thank you.
You do you, boo?
Thank you.
He was married for 10 years and ended it before we met. He has a great relationship with his ex-wife, and I'm concerned about that. There are no kids involved, but they still talk to each other about business, movies, etc. like they're still dating. Should I be worried? Wow. Not every divorce is like a knockdown, drag out, like awful situation for people. You know, some people really do just decide that, like, you know, they're just better off as friends, you know, as opposed to, you know, being in a marriage. So I feel like, you know, that's okay. But like, I guess the real question is, like, what are you guys? Like, are you guys dating? Are you guys serious? And also, how long has he been divorced for? Because 10 years is a pretty good chunk of time, you know, for him to be starting a new relationship. So like, if they were together for 10 years but they've only been split up for 6 months, you should probably just tip, because you are the rebound. You know, it might be one of those things where, like, you know, now that they're divorced, they feel like they're getting along so much better, and maybe, you know, they just needed some time apart, and maybe, you know, they should get back together, blah blah blah. Getting into a relationship with a newly divorced person is always a crapshoot, and I, you know, personally would just suggest cut your losses. But if they've been divorced for a while and you guys are like in a serious relationship, like you've been together for a while, then I would suggest talking to him and just being like, hey, you know, I understand that you know, that you were with her for a really long time, and that, like, you know, at this point in time you still want her to be a part of your life. But with that said, you know, like, I'm your significant other, so, like, you know, if she's gonna be a part of your life, she needs to be a part of our lives. Like, we all need to be friends, like, you know, or at least she and I need to be civil with each other. That's at least what I would suggest. Also, other than like them like still talking to each other and being friendly, like, is there any other behavior that's concerning you? Because maybe they're just really nice to each other. Like, maybe that's always how they've been. Like I said, divorce doesn't always have to be like breaking windows and fucking cussing each other out in court and shit. Like, maybe they were just like, man, you my homie, let's be homies. Let's just be homies now. Guys, I'm so fucking, oh my god, I'm so tired. Is this anything I'm saying making sense? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? No, you don't need to be worried, but, like, I don't know, evaluate the situation. You just have to evaluate the situation further, and that's it. That's all I have to say about that. Let's go ahead and move on to question. That didn't, like, I just went like this, and I was supposed to go like this, you know? It's a very different hair flip when you go like this as opposed to when you go like this. You know what I mean? Like, do y'all people, this is different than this, you know? This just looks crazy, but this looks like it was planned and graceful. Also, my hair is like, bless me. Been married for a few years. The ink wasn't dry before he started asking for threesomes. I agreed to keep an eye on him. Now he's always on social media searching for threesomes without me. Advice. Ma'am. Ma'am. I'm assuming you're a ma'am. There's no clarification on that. Ma'am, what are you doing? If your significant other wants something sexually that you are not comfortable with providing, and you only agree so that they don't cheat on you, that is a red flag, and you should not be with that person. Like, I don't explain this. You don't need advice. You need a different husband. If your husband brings up that he wants a threesome and you don't want to have a threesome, then there needs to be a discussion, but it also needs to be very clear that there will be no threesomes until you are comfortable with the idea. It says, you say you agreed to keep an eye on him, but you never said that, like, talked more about it. You never said you guys have planned it. He's just on social media looking for somebody to have threesomes with. You guys just need to sit down and have a very frank conversation about what is and what isn't acceptable in the relationship, you know? And if it's one of those things where you agreed to it but you weren't necessarily comfortable, so now you don't want to have a threesome but you feel like obligated to because he's like looking for threesomes and you told him you could do it, you just need to know that you do not have to do anything you don't want to do. You know, but you need to have a very frank discussion with him, and you just need to let him know, like, hey, you know, I agreed to this because, like, I wanted to make you happy, but it makes me uncomfortable and I don't want to do this. And then based on his response, you know whether or not you have a real marriage or not. Like, if his response is like, well, fuck you, bitch, I'm gonna go have a threesome without you, blah, 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 then obviously papers need to be signed, right? No more hubby. But if he's like, oh, you know, I was just really excited, you know, I really want to do this, blah, 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 but, you know, I want you to be comfortable and I want you to be happy, then there's a discussion to be had. He shouldn't be looking for threesomes without you. Threesomes are a thing that you do together as a couple, and the other person is the outsider, not you. And it definitely sounds like you would be the outsider in this threesome. Also, just a question, assuming of course that you are a woman, you know, is he looking for threesomes with another woman or with another man? And that's just me being curious. I just want to know what kind of threesome he's looking into, because that's another thing where it's like, okay, fine, baby, you so into threesomes, you want to look up threesomes, find me a man. Find me a man that we can have a threesome with then. Since you won't be looking for threesomes without me. See how committed he is to the concept then. You know what I mean? Because I can almost guarantee you he'd be like,
nah, man, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, homie. I'm not gonna do that shit. I'm not gonna do that shit. Like,
a threesome implies equal participation for equal gratification, I feel like. And it doesn't sound like that's what he's into. But also, I always want to make sure we're giving them benefit of the doubt, which is why I said everything else that I said before. And with all of that said, let's go ahead and move on to question 7. Yes.
My love.
My love.
I know you've had a hard time today.
Indeed.
I know you didn't sleep very well and you had a hard time at work.
Wait, what?
So I wanted to get you something.
What?
There you go. For my love.
What is this?
Here, I'll hold it while you open it.
Okay. Aww, you got me tacos.
Yeah. I organized them in a heart box.
In a heart, I was gonna say in a heart box. This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. What? You know it's not Valentine's Day, right?
I know it's not Valentine's Day, baby.
Is this Tapatio?
Yeah, it's Tapatio.
This deserves a kiss.
Thank you, baby.
You deserve, no, you can get one more.
Thank you.
No, you can get one more.
Oh, okay. This
is great. I'm so excited.
There you go.
I was on question 7. I'm gonna hurry up and read that question now so I can eat my food. I'm not gonna cry, but that was very sweet. All right, we're on question 7 now. Boyfriend left his laptop open, so I viewed his purchase history on an adult site. Why? Why? Why was that your first thing to do? Like, I know I haven't finished the, why? Let your man have his privacy. Damn, come on. He bought anal beads, size 11 heels, and flavored lotion. He hasn't used these items with me. I confront him. He said, you really don't want to know that side of me. Advice. Well, first and foremost, how long have you guys been together? Like, God, there's so many questions. Like, so many of these questions need fucking more context before you can give like any real advice. But, okay, how long have you guys been together? Are you aware of any of his other kinks? Has there been a discussion of kinks and fetishes, etc., etc.? Also, why doesn't he feel comfortable talking to you about like the stuff that he likes to use? Drink. Mango nectar. Like, what kind of relationship do you guys have where, like, again, like, kind of going back to the threesome question, like, why haven't you guys discussed this? Like, I understand that he might be feeling a little weird or like insecure about like what he's into, but like you guys have to be able to talk about that. So the only, like, really the only advice that anybody can give you is talk to your man. Talk to your man, find out what he's into, what he wants, what he likes. Also, stop going through his shit. Like, that's none of your business. If he hasn't shown it to you, like, if he hasn't shown it to you, then there's a reason for that. I do wonder though, like, if he's not using that shit with you, he better be using it by his damn self, because otherwise he's a cheating ass hoe and you gotta hope Biscuit chorus his ass. But fingers crossed he just be doing his own thing when y'all not together. That's all I have to say about that, and not just because my man's got me tacos from a taco cart. God, they're so fucking good. That chicken was so bomb. But that's all I have to say about that. Thank you so much for watching this weekly Twitter advice with me. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for part 2 of the weekly Twitter advice, where we see what Twitter has to say about the shenanigans. Hopefully it's juicy fruit. I just realized I don't know what the Juicy Fruit song sounds like that old school one, like da 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 da. I think that might be part of it. Boo doo 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 doo. Yeah, okay, I think that's it. That's all I know of that song. Peace out, hoe biscuits. It's getting lit.